Cancer, the moon is in Pisces and she's asking you to look back at what has transpired over this lunar cycle. What are you grateful for? What situations how are you seeing with a new perspective and understanding how it's contributed to the grand scheme of things and opening up new opportunities for you there, Cancer. Stay tuned to find out how to work with these energies. But before we jump into that, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just spectacular, Cancer. And it keeps us dreaming. And for those of you who are new, welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and know that when you're coming across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. And this is also for those of you who have Cancer in your placement. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, maybe even Jupiter, wherever Cancer, this one's for you. But also, we all have Cancer in our chart, or somewhere in our chart there. So even if you just resonate with the moon, we're well happy to have you here too. And I do tarot card spreads based upon really hit the good old moon. You know what? Let's talk about the good old moon for a minute. Typical lunar shenanigans. I don't know if you had saw in my community post, I had shared this link that there's going to be this lunar standstill, which only happens every 18, I think it's like 18.6 years or something like that. It's in sync. It syncs up with the lunar nodes. So it's not just some kind of random occurrence. Everything has a cycle. It's really cool. I've been reading a lot here, Cancer. I tell you what, my mind's just a cooking. But I'll tell you who's cooking up some stuff too, because there's supposed to be this lunar standstill right above Stonehenge. It was going to be this big thing. So I go to join this live. There's like 4,000 people there, plus people. It's like a whole big event. Everyone's pumped up. They're doing this live. There's this whole like kind of intro thing. That takes a minute. But then once we get through that, we get ready there. They go to the live, and just in typical Luna fashion, there is cloud coverage. It's raining. So she decided to put on this whole performance, but have the curtain closed. And I just everyone, or a lot of people in the comments were just like, what the heck? Oh man, just really kind of bummed out. And I just started cracking up. I was just like, yeah, that's what it's like to have Luna as your guardian. So it's like, for those of you, if you're curious what it's like to be Cancer, that's what it's like. I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in when she's going void, of course, when she's hiding behind the clouds, and all those lunar shenanigans. I was like, of course. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. All right, Cancer. Cancer, hopefully you did enjoy and you know what? If you have a birthday, Cancer, just have one coming, or just passed, or got one happening today, happy birthday, happy birthday. Oh, wait, how do I make the balloons? I don't remember how to make the balloons there, Cancer. I think that's fireworks. So you're getting fireworks right now. Oh, I think I remember. Bam! There it is. Happy birthday. But I hope you are enjoying your birthday season there, Cancer. I hope you're living it up. I'm getting closer to countdown. It's like, it's so weird. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like literally around the corner. So, but hopefully you're all enjoying this time. Hopefully you've been enjoying this Cancerian energy and all this light, with all the sun shining at its highest peak with the solstice, the moon doing this whole, doing her lunar thing, whatever the hell she's doing. Hopefully you've been enjoying this energy there, Cancer. Oh, and also, Cancer, your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And depending on when you're watching this, Cancer, happy Mars Day. Mars is associated with Tuesdays. This is a great day to get the body moving. This would be a great day if you have maybe some moving to do. Schedule during a Mars Day. You got more energy during that day, or your movers will have more energy that day. This could be a great one I always schedule my workouts on a Tuesday. And if not during the day, this is where, the planets are also associated with different hours as well. There's a whole sequence with it. And this is a very old system. there, Cancer. This is something that's been preserved for a long time, and it has a very natural flow to things. So really, I would advise, I would invite you to, like, not advise, this is not a caveat. I would invite you to play around with this, Cancer. See how see how you're feeling motivated during this time, and two, to pay attention to where the sign is at right now. This, with Mars being in Taurus, technically Mars is in detriment with Taurus. The Mars score is really low. So I would say, for those of you, in which if you're working with herbs and things, you probably already know this, but the Mars energy is a little bit low, so this may not be effective for working with Mars herbs, like as far as like making tinctures and things along those lines. So it's just something to be, or maybe any salves. But I'm trying to think what else I wanted to include with that. Oh, speaking of herbs, nettle's a great herb to work with Mars. I'm just thinking, that just kind of popped in my. I work with nettles all the time, so that's just a little random nugget there for you, there, Cancer. But let's go ahead. Enough Mars news. Let's get into the lunar news, because on the 25th, the moon is going to be entering into Pisces at about 11:07 p.m. and that will be 11:07 p.m. and that would be Pacific time. And she is in a waning gibbous phase that is also known as a disseminating moon. And, with this gibbous, when we're in this part of the lunar cycle, we're in a time of reflection. Absolutely, I love that. Thank you, guys. That's dope. But we are in a time of reflection. And with this period, this is when the moon is going to be in a trine with the sun again. There's always a waxing and a waning period when we're dealing with this stuff, like how the squares, like the last quarter and the first quarter. But this is where we are reflecting on, where we're showing appreciation for the people that have moved, that helped us get along this way, that may have provided some advice, that maybe you were thanking a teacher for a course that they provided, or a lesson that they provided, or maybe a friend maybe gave some great advice, or maybe a job or a boss opened up an opportunity for a promotion, or whatever this is. I feel like this is one way that you can work with this gibbous energy. There's this deepness with Pisces. There's this universal oneness, and understanding that we're never truly alone in this. And I feel like, and even just thinking outside of just like with people, I'm getting even, because now of course, when we're talking with Pisces, we got to get a little mystical there. This is sharing appreciation too for trusting that intuitive part of you that may not always know where you're going, but knowing that you'll figure it out. And when things don't quite come to fruition with Pisces. And the beautiful part of this gift, and this is where this is where I feel, where Sagittarius can be viewed as a very, the lucky sign. Pisces brings this luck of Jupiter in a different type of way, because there's this understanding, which we're going to talk about this, of almost this divine protection, of understanding of that this micro moment here is playing out something in a much grander scale, that all of that you've gone through is meant to, it's not all just for nothing. There is a growth for this. It can be for nothing if that's the scope that we choose. But I feel with Pisces, and especially during this waning gibbous, and that if we're feeling stuck in a way, Pisces is that mutable water. This is where energies dissolve. This can be where you're looking at maybe, let's say, for example, appreciation for a breakup, possibly, where it may not have been the best situation. At one point, you did love each other. And just the fact that there's that, you got to experience that sense of love, that's beautiful, Cancer. And then even when things break apart, I feel that you've learned what you don't like in what you won't accept for other people. You've learned what other people don't like in you. You can get a lot of stuff, and granted, that's getting into Libra's realm too. But and Venus does well in Pisces. She's exalted in Pisces, so it works like this. But I feel like we can show gratitude even towards those kind of tougher times in our life. I actually just had a moment not too long ago where I was really kind of reflecting on something. I had a bit of a separation not too long ago, and it had been really I made my peace with it, sort of, but it really had like a really kind of big movement I felt happened the other day, where there was this just like, I was like, I really reflected on all the great things that I got from that instead of thinking about what could have been, how the conversation may have could have standed out. It's like, you know what, that's done, and it was, I think I'm still kind of processing that, but it just like it does feel like there is this big weight that's out of there, like just like a hole has been left, but not like an empty hole, like something like, okay, now I can fill this with something else, like finally fill it with something else. And that's what I feel that this gibbous can bring, and this brings about a sense of compassion because we're all learning through this journey. No one's perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. Everyone F's up from time to time, but it's understanding that that's all the point of it, but not to just continue to make the mistakes. It's to have that awareness and to grow and to see too, speaking of that, if we're noticing that we're putting in that growth but others are not. Sometimes with Pisces, they can give too much of themselves. Their hearts are always in the right place, but others will drag that down and drain that energy. And sometimes the best thing you can do is to give people space. Pisces can be known as the, evasive, or they may disappear, but sometimes that's what you need, and that's can be one of the best gifts that a Pisces gives you. I think about that in particular. I had an experience with this person that has a Pisces rising, and that was a wonderful experience. That was probably a really, really key point of transformation in my journey thus far, and that'll always kind of carry a special moment with me. So that's what I feel this gaining gibbous in Pisces can really invite, because there were moments where there were periods of time where I was being challenged, my faith and things, where I was going through a Sag rising during my solar return. It was a whole thing, but it was a lot of growth that was being challenged in that. So, and that's where I feel like as this gibbous goes towards that last quarter, there may be this realization of that. It can be hard to let that go, but I feel like, again, when you get to that release, it can be really something wonderful here. So that's just one way I'm thinking that this could come, or this energy could manifest for you. But when the moon is in Pisces as well, just in general, I kind of had skipped over that. Just in general, the moon in Pisces really is a great time, a really great imaginative time for you, Cancer. Cancer has a very rich inner life. We're associated with the fourth house, the roots, the moon. That is that, when we're thinking about where we're coming from, yeah, Cancer is associated with the home space, but it's deeper than that. We're thinking about where we come from. Like that. Where does I got chills even just thinking about it. Where does your soul come from, Cancer? That source, God, universal oneness. That's why, there's this kind of correlation, this tight relationship with Cancer and Pisces, because there is such a deep, Scorpio too, such a deep connection with that intuitive energy. So this can be one where you can tap into just rich creativity, Cancer. What is your favorite mode of expression? Explore that with Pisces. This is a time to just allow yourself, your energies to rest. This is a time let me get my thoughts together. This can be really one for just great for painting, great for dancing, great for music, however you feel the need to express yourself. Maybe not needing to actively do it, but maybe doing a little extra humming in your day, or while you're on your commute these days, maybe do some drawing there. Maybe explore some different types of music, even too, with Pisces. This because again, this is dealing with the Pisces is that collective unconsciousness. So this can be just doing into things that you've never explored before. Listen to some world music, whatever that's, maybe some Latin music, whatever that's looking like there, Cancer. But this is one to allow yourself to daydream, to look up at the sky, to allow yourself to just recharge, because it's in those moments that we get those ideas, those divine downloads, those intuitive hits, whatever you want to call them. That's where that comes from, when you connect with that side of you that has all that wisdom, that has all that knowing, that has all that wisdom just waiting for you to unlock in you, Cancer. So it's a very exciting time when the moon is in Pisces. Now, if you happen to have a lot of mutable placements, that's Sag, Virgo, or Gemini, this might be a tenser time for you just because that's forming squares with your sign. So that might be a bit of emotional conflict. I'd pay attention to if you have a lot of water energy or a lot of earth. This could be a very flowing or easier type of energies for you. So pay attention to the combinations. This tends to, I'm actually in that combination where it's hitting my water. It'll start squaring my moon. That's always the first, usually something that happens. And then right after that, things tend to get into a flow because then we're sextiling my Capricorn placements, which is all my outer planets. And then it's forming a trine with my Cancer placement, my Chiron Sun placement. So just pay attention to where those can fall as well, can be a great indicator of how you work with this. And one thing I wanted to start including as well, if you have your natal moon in Pisces, the moon is where we nurture ourselves, how we take care of ourselves. And if you have Pisces, especially in your big three, Pisces is one that needs more rest. I think Pisces has like a very active, what is that called? The Vega nerve, but Pisces benefits from getting more sleep. As it makes sense for you. I'm thinking about this one Pisces moon that everyone is always like, you sleep too much, and blah blah blah. But I mean, this person has so much water in their chart, and it's like, as with all this energy that they're absorbing from you all, yeah, they sleep a lot. So that's something. Be kind to yourself with that. Allow yourself to daydream. Allow yourself to get into that imaginative space, but also remember too that you have to ground that at some point. We can't stay, because Pisces energy can be one of escapism. So because you get in that realm and it's so wonderful, why would you want to come back here? And so that's something where you just got to you want to be mindful of that with the natal Pisces moon. But doing things that nurture that creativity, be mindful of like the stimuli, because again, the moon is very sensitive here. So maybe you can't do well in big crowds for long periods of time. Respect your energies. Allow yourself to hey, where I've had enough. I need to remove myself. I need to recharge. I need to go to my safe space, cuddle up in a blanket and maybe read, or maybe I just need to, just stare up at the sky, but, allow yourself that space. So, and then last little thing I wanted to talk about is the void of course. And that's going to be happening on Venus Day on the 28th of June. That's a Friday. And that'll be happening between 1:44 a.m. and 1:51 a.m. So it was a pretty short void of course time there. And the void of course is when the moon is forming her final aspect with a celestial body. And then she just she's running in the emptiness. She's roaming the void. I like to think of it as where her time in Pisces is becoming a memory. It's a time of self-reflection. What did I take from this? What was this energy trying to teach me? What do I feel I got, where this, what was this feelings that transpired during this time? Looking at that could be a really great time for, checking that subjectivity versus what's happening subjectively versus what's happening objectively. So, but also the void of course can be the aspect that the moon forms with that celestial body usually flavors that void of course time. And the reason this was so short is because Neptune's hanging out at the final degree of Pisces. And so she's formed a conjunction with Neptune. And so this can be a great time. I like, especially when we're doing some stuff with Neptune and this happening towards the evening, to invite more rest, to make sure that you try to get to bed on time. And of course, depending on what time zone you're in, just remember to take some time to do some deep breathing throughout the day, to allow yourself to maybe do some, maybe take a 10-minute and just kind of zone out for a minute. Maybe go chill in your car if you're at your company and just kind of allow yourself, put on some music and just kind of sit for a little bit. Just kind of allow yourself to relax, come to, center yourself again. So these are some ways. And I'm going to be starting a little thing with the next lunar cycle as far as working with the void of course energies. I had just added up the time not too long ago, and we have for the next lunar cycle a total of 49 hours and 25 minutes of void of course time, so of personal time. And whatever that means for you, and I'll go into more of that once we get into the new lunar cycle. So we still got a couple more signs here, but I'm really kind of excited for that, and hopefully you'll like this as well. But Yeah, that conjunction with Neptune is a very the moon and when the moon and Neptune are in a conversation with one another. This Venus day, just if you can find some time to again maybe watch a movie, this could be great. Just kind of a date night to just sort of just be. This can be great for like a family kind of painting night, maybe to just allow that expression to be or you can put on some music or something along those lines. Fill it up. Maybe go out and maybe add some. Maybe get a painting or something to add to your home space, for example. Or maybe even go do something creative for yourself. Maybe go get some do something fun. Like this could be really just a great day to just be in a dreamy place. I would say be mindful with Neptune. Just be mindful of any sort of escapisms or anything along those lines. Venus is a very receptive energy. She's in Cancer right now. This could be an emotional time. So just be something to be just mindful of there. But and then if you're curious about how these energies are working with your chart and you want to get a little bit more with that, book a consultation with me down in the I got a link for that down in the description box below. We can talk about what are some things that you may be going through, maybe what are some tools that maybe we can work with, maybe be better. Because I get I got like different various price things for stuff because depending on where you're at, I have like different 3 and 6 month courses that I offer for that we work together when we can do maybe something where I get like a course possibly there, but we can work that all out. But all that information's down in the description box below, and it's all to help just get into your flow there, Cancer. It's all when you really just look at this stuff, it's all about cycles and just like where do you want to move the needle. There's more free will in this than we are led to. I feel like that we're led to believe there, Cancer. So it's really cool. Astrology can be a really great tool to sync up in flow with who you are, with your natural rhythm of life. Think about your circadian rhythm, for example. I've been trying this thing where I've been just kind of getting up by myself, and I noticed that I usually I'm ranging between about 5:30 and 6 is where, depending on if I go to bed a little later, that may vary, but usually even then I'm usually out of bed before 7, and that's even kind of late for me. So yeah, it can be really cool there, Cancer. Get you operating in a more efficient way too. So if that's something that's resonates with you, check that out. And I'm doing some more stuff on my social media there, Cancer, posting some things. So stay tuned. I also started this little. Oh no, actually I'll mention that towards the end there, Cancer. Oh, let's get into your tarot here, Cancer, because I love this. You got the divine guidance card here, Cancer, and I feel that's very appropriate for a moon in Pisces because I like to think, at least for me, how I find I work, how I'm working at least I find astrology is like this. I like to think of it as notes that my guides and I are kind of exchanging between one another, and it's like it's never this, like it's not like a force type of thing. It's just like, hey, this is where the energy is flowing. How do you feel about that? And if you want to change this, there is this option here. I've been again looking into a whole bunch of things with as far as like it's just as a simple example for the solar return chart. And I'm actually going to post a video of my last year's one. I'm going to post on my other channel, and then I'm going to post just like a very kind of simple go over just to give you an idea of what to look at when you're looking at your own solar return chart, because there's a bunch of different websites that allow you to pull that stuff up there too, that do really great free resources there. But this divine guidance, I feel it's this, again, since we're in that reflecting time, look at these periods of time where it's just like, how did that happen? How did I pull that off? It just seemed like things just fell together. And I feel like it's in those moments when you felt like you just kind of trusted, like, I'm not sure where this is going, but this feels like what I need to do. My gut is, my instinct is telling me to do this. That's that divine guidance, And that's where I feel there's this, where we are these human beings too, but there's this energy that's living in this. There's something that is powering this. And I feel like there's an appreciation for that relationship, because it's not, I'm not, because when I'm talking about this divine guidance, I feel like this is not something that is controlling you. This is something that you're working with. There was a period of time when I didn't, when I was just like, you know what? I felt like I just felt really kind of forsaken. It was a very dramatic, I really leaned into all my Leo placement in this. I was driving and I was just really feeling very low. And I'm just like, well, if you're not going to help me, then fine. I got it myself. And that was probably the period of time where I was most divinely guided. I was very, very reckless during that time. Very, not things I'm particularly proud of. And it's a wonder that that I made it out. Okay, I was very, very divinely guided. I just had actually a little moment sometime last year. Man, that was a coming to. But sometimes I feel and it's, you know what? And when I'm thinking about those divine guidance, I'm not even just thinking when things tend to work out. It's even looking at the moments where things may, in the grand scheme, look like a whole mess. I had a moment last year where I had went out. I was having a fight with a friend, and it was really kind of getting to me. So I went out and I went to grab some dinner, and I had a drink, and I think something happened. That's a whole other thing. But then I wound up just kind of. It was really, needless to say, I'm in the middle of nowhere. My phone is dead, and then eventually it's gone, and then I'm just like really just kind of. I have nothing but intuition and yeah, prayer. Like I was just so I managed to get to where I needed to be. I got somewhere safe, and here we are today. But it's even in those moments where that wasn't a great situation, but I'm appreciative for what it taught me. And that's what I feel this energy is also providing. Where something may not have seemed great in the micro, everything is the universe isn't working against you. I feel like this life is not meant to work against you. It's meant to work for you. And there is this guidance, this energy that is available to help guide you. Whether you in let's get some tarot on this, Cancer, because this gives me like a Hierophant energy type of even like a Lovers type of energy. But let's get some tarot on this, Cancer. All right, Cancer. Let's see what's going on here. Thank you, guys. Interesting. Okay, so you have the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Four of Wands upright. And then you have the Ten of Coins and the Nine of Cups in reverse. And that's interesting, because I thought it was... That's interesting, just because you got like all these minors here. And I find that's when divine guidance, I feel, comes the most in handy, because usually when there's a lot of majors, there's usually a lot of behind the scenes, like something's moving, like the energies, like we're really in the flow. But right now, I feel with the Nine of Cups here, something feels off. It feels like it's like what you've been attracting, or the wish that you've been made, or wishes that you've been trying to make, has not manifested with the Ten of Coins. Or it just always seems like that we're stuck with this Eight of Swords, that there's not a way out here. And I feel with this Eight of Cups being here, there's something that's being held on to. I'm getting one, it's like a powerlessness, because sometimes I feel when we're in a situation, we don't give ourselves enough credit sometimes, I feel like, in order to get out of something. Here you got the Four of Wands. This could be, maybe, for example, this could be a relationship thing that maybe you feel like that's interesting. I'm almost getting with this, Cancer. What I'm also kind of feeling with this, I'm getting like it's like we're feeling like we should be happy with something with the Four of Wands, but then we're looking at this wish, Nine of Cups, this Ten of Coins being in reverse, and this is not what it seemed to be. It's like something feels like we're stuck or we're trapped, and like I feel like there's maybe a hard decision to let go of, because let me get a little bit more on this Four of Wands here, Cancer. All right, Cancer. Thank you, guys. Yeah, let's get a little bit more into this. Interesting. So the Four of Wands is clarified by the Three of Stars and the Six of Swords in reverse. And then you have the Eight of Stars upright. And I feel that you know what? The Four of Wands can also be like this checkpoint energy. And you've reached like a certain point in your life, but something's not working anymore, Cancer. This could be, for example, maybe you're sensing like a job is no longer working. Maybe there's been a new coworker that's come in and it's just made your life hell, and it's just like it's time to, I don't know, it's like this Eight of Stars is wanting to get something else in the mix here, Cancer, but we're struggling to move on from something. Again, like we're stuck in a certain like a certain phase, like, and I feel like there's been maybe with this divine guidance card here, there have been the signs of like, hey, this is no longer compatible, this is no longer working, we need to and it's like if you're wanting to that's interesting. It's like if you're wanting to fix a certain situation, there's like an old mindset. Like if you're stuck in like the abusive relationship, in order to, or if you maybe find yourself in a trend, like let's say there's like this back to back stuff, for example. This may be a time where, we may need to take a moment and stop dating for a bit, to be with ourselves and find out what is because they all have something in common, which is you. And not to say that you're the problem, but there's something that maybe you're missing. That is just like, okay, they're trying to tell me something. These situations that are going on, there's some sort of thing here, and I'm not catching the signal, and it's keeping me stuck in some sort of cycle. But I feel that maybe you're like at this realization is not feeling too great, but I feel like the fact that I'm not quite sure how to put this, Cancer. It's like there's this, it almost feels like maybe you feel stuck in the, it's like you realize, okay, this relationship is happening, so now what? Like maybe you feel like you don't have people to call on, or maybe there's just, it feels like there's just something maybe you just don't know, and maybe it's like, I wish I had better words for this, Cancer. Let me see if I can get a little bit. Let me get a little bit more of this Eight of Cups, and then I think I'm going to move on here, Cancer. Yeah, but it feels like either there's something here that maybe you thought you wish. This could be maybe you thought a relationship was supposed to be some sort of way, but then it turns out it's not what you thought, and now we're wanting to walk away, but there's something mixed in with it. Maybe there's a child involved, possibly. Maybe there's a family. We're thinking, how is that going to work? But let me see what's up with this Eight of Cups. Okay. All right, thank you, guys. The Eight of Cups is clarified by the Fool upright. And so, I feel like this is maybe some sort of leap of faith, and this is something that, And maybe we're just not wanting to, that's interesting. I got like this message of not wanting to start all over again, possibly. And whatever that means. Maybe you're needing to leave behind a certain group. Maybe you're leaving behind a job and starting in a whole new environment. But the Fool invites this energy of taking this leap. This is Uranus energy. And I feel like when we are feeling trapped and we feel like our authority is taken away from us. Uranus has like a Uranus transit has a way of bringing some shock. Like it'll bring like a it just, I guess, to just wrap this up, and then we'll move on. Just it just feels like we're ready for a new chapter. There's something here that's ready to. We're needing to put our energy into something else. It's like as soon as you end something here, you allow yourself to move on. Some newer doors will open up here, Cancer. But let's see. Let's get some more on this. Oh, interesting, Cancer. Okay. Thank you, guys. So you have the Fool here, upright, and you have the Page of Wands and the Knight of Cups in reverse. And this Page of Wands, Knight of Cups, I feel the Knight of Cups is this he's a very passionate knight. He leads with his heart. He leads with love, and I feel that this can be an invitation for some to maybe spark this new idea, possibly. Maybe you have a relationship that you're wanting to try. We're not sure how this thing is going to work. I'm just throwing out some stuff here, Cancer. Maybe it's just like, maybe you got into this thing and I keep getting like maybe there's like, let's say like a child gets involved, for example. And it's like you may not be sure how this is going to work, but we're both coming from this place of love. In that, I feel like if that's the recipe, maybe we can get this figured out. And we may not sure, it may just be, that's just one example. But there's just another thing, with this Nine of Cups here. I feel something is feeling a little uninspired with this energy here. Like, when was the last time maybe that you allowed yourself to wish, possibly? Maybe you've had other. I'm getting the word obligations, possibly, but now it's like we haven't allowed ourselves to leave behind a legacy. It's almost like the being more than a mother or a father, like then also having another dream here that we're wanting to pursue. I feel like this divine guidance could be like this could be like a passion project here, possibly. Maybe something. Maybe you had to walk away from something with this Eight of Cups, and now this Fool here is revisiting a situation, something that held a lot of emotional things here. Because I feel like this Page of Wands, Knight of Cups is giving me this. It's like there hasn't been any sort of like, again, like kind of inspiration, possibly, or have you really been in love with something that you're doing for a while? When have you felt that Fool energy, that sense of like wanting to seize the day, to seize the night, to I'm just getting to like dream of castles. I'm looking at Ariel here, looking at this castle, her dreaming of walking on the land, but. It's interesting too. I'm even getting this with the Page of Wands for some, maybe even inviting a bit more a bit more play possibly here around inviting maybe like some fun presents. Like maybe there's this, maybe you have a friend that's getting married, for example, and you like, it's like you want to go but you have all this work to do, but I'm like, you know what, this Three of Stars is like the work will be there. I feel like there's, allow yourself a bit of, I was just listening to a reader and she said a word that I really enjoyed that I don't think is used enough: whimsy. And just you do something on a whim there, Cancer. Just go out there and maybe have a little bit of fun, possibly. That's very interesting too, Cancer. But we went from talking about having no majors here to having two fools. So, and it's like the fact that that's happening there, Cancer. I want to get a little bit more with this fool before we get some advice, but yeah, let me get a little bit more with this fool here. This could be a need of I'm almost got even like a need of taking a leap. For example, maybe you're wanting to get married, but you're not sure how we're gonna do something with where like how are you gonna get a house, how are you gonna do this, how are you gonna. But let me get this clarified with this fool here, Cancer. All right, Cancer. Thank you, guys. See what's going on here. Oh, interesting, Cancer. Okay, so the Fool is clarified by the Four of Swords, the Magician, Mercury, and the Ace of Stars in reverse. And then we have the Devil upright, which is Capricorn energy. And what I'm being brought to is the fact that the Magician, Mercury, is the lower octave of Uranus. And so I feel there's something that's not, if we're not moving towards something, I feel it's because we're thinking from a too small a perspective. This Devil is giving me more of a just not giving yourself the credit that you deserve. By not watering, you won't know if something's going to grow if you don't water it. If you're assuming that, like it's that idea of like, well, I might fail, so if I don't do it, then I won't fail. But if you won't do it, then you won't know, and then you won't grow, So we're on a roll. But I do feel that there is an opportunity here. Especially if we've been feeling like, I'm getting like a take a leap energy. Again, double Fool. This could be too. Maybe there's, maybe there's an environment. This could be a work of partnership, whatever. That's like maybe that's limiting. That's keeping you ungrounded, or I guess, or like that's kind of limiting your beliefs here. Maybe this Devil energy. It's like the people who, yeah, like it's just like not wanting to expand, not wanting to dream, not wanting to grow, just sort of just going with the motions right now. But oh, oh, there's Neptune. All right, let's get some advice from Neptune and Jupiter. Interesting, Cancer. Oh, and we were talking about the Hierophant. How fascinating. Okay. Thank you, guys. All right, Cancer. Last little bit here. All right, so you have the Three of Wands, the five, and the Five of Wands in reverse. Then you have the Hierophant, the Six of Swords. So we got another Six of Swords here. The King of Wands and the Hanged Man, Neptune energy. And let's switch back over. Because this Three of Wands here, Cancer. This Three of Wands, Five of Wands is I feel like there are whatever this if we're in some sort of situation where it's like we're needing to take a leap, maybe we're wanting to start a business, for example, or maybe you're wanting to maybe you're getting in a new contract, a partnership with someone, or maybe you are again you're starting a new like whatever this may be, Cancer. I just feel like there's something here that's with the 5 of Wands. I feel one, huh, that's interesting. Okay, I feel like one, I'm getting like a suffer in silence energy here, like maybe feeling too prideful to ask for help. This is oh no, excuse me. Yeah, I'm getting like a like I'm not sure, Cancer. I feel like there's something here like a needing to ask for help possibly here. It's like you're ready to move with the 6 of Swords, like maybe with the fact that they're both here, it's like we've been teetering maybe back and forth with something, and the it's like the energy comes in waves, but something is still pausing. I feel like we're still like in this state of we're the Hanged Man can be a card of sacrifice, and it's just like how much do we want to sacrifice? I feel like that's very interesting because I'm getting an energy of the union of a union with the Hierophant. Maybe this could be like a couple, like just again, maybe you're gonna try for a child. You're not sure how you're gonna do this, but we're doing it. This could be. It's like we're at a major. The Hierophant is very serious. What I'm the energy that I'm giving off. We're at a kind of like a major point here. This is sort of where you're maybe needing to call on a bit of faith. The Hierophant can be this it comes from this word, if I'm remembering correctly, hierophanting, which is that's a word, but it is that idea from the divine becoming materialized. The Hierophant is that bridge between the spiritual and the divine. And there's this, and now since we're talking about Pisces and the fact that Neptune's here, there's something that's ready to, I feel like that's ready to go. We may not be sure how it's going to get done with the 3 of Wands, but you may be putting more restrictions maybe on yourself than you think. The 5 of Wands is like this really frustrated energy, but I feel it's like once you get it moving, the King of Wands, there's like that's the kings bring about this wisdom, and I feel like there's this sort of innate. You're just gonna know what to do as you're doing it. Like we all start as beginners in some point of life, and that never stops. Life is just this, it's a cycle. Once we end one thing, and that's Pisces. Once we end in Pisces, we start brand over new again with Aries. And so I just feel that even in talking and all this, we got so in the all the things that are going on in the micro that remembering this divine guidance, when you find yourself in that storm, that's a perfect time for that 4 of Swords meditation. We're spread too thin. We need to get that equilibrium again. We need to find out what's going on, what have been some themes that have been happening, so that we can find the answer as to where to go here next. This is kind of like a movement energy here. This is a calculated moves here, Cancer, but I do feel there is an element of you're not going to have all the answers to this, and you're just going to have to go with what you know, or go with it's like I'm thinking about when my partner moved to America. He was telling me that it's just like I had like so much X amount of money and a dream, and it's like I'm just in a prayer and just figured it out as I go. And Community was a big one. I know there's a thing with that too, that three of stars there. Something with the sense of community here, possibly not doing something by yourself, but I think I'm gonna leave that there, Cancer. I hope that, yeah, that was interesting. But if anything resonated with you, Cancer, if you like that, give it a thumbs up. And share this, Cancer. If you know someone who's been feeling this, been doubting this divine guidance here, because Cancer, all the signs have this intuition they express it in different ways, and how they work with their energies. And Cancer is one that is guided by the emotions, guided by your feelings. So the more you understand these feelings and stuff, then the more I feel the guidance, you go with the flow. It's cardinal water, so there's this, and of course again, this is if your sun is in Cancer, but there is, even wherever you happen to have Cancer, you get Moon in Cancer, really strong intuition. But it's I feel that again, when it comes to Pisces, there is a bigger picture theme there with them that you have to remember, that Pisces energy can feel like the victim sometimes. Like, it's like a lot of stuff can maybe happens to me, but really it's happening for you, and it turns you into this person who understands, like, okay, like I don't know, it really appreciates the all aspects of growth here. But then subscribe there, you Hierophant. Hit that bell button, you're notified when I release videos each day. And then, yeah, last little bit there, Cancer. If you want to know what's going on with the other celestial bodies and all the chit chat that's happening up in the sky, come over to my other channel, Alchemist 8. I talk about the weekly transits that are coming on. I post those videos every Wednesday. I have these videos now that I'm releasing. They've been about little under 10 minutes. They're between like 5 and 10 minutes. And it's just going through different zodiac signs and different places and different houses. I'm literally I have these 3 12-sided dice. I roll the dice. Right now I'm getting ready to do the Sun and Pisces in the 4th house here soon. But I'm just releasing those whenever. And the point I'm calling it, we're stolen in the Soul Tribe Archive. That's what I'm officially landing on. I like that flow. I initially started with Stash, but I'm like, but it's the Soul Tribe Archive. And it's meant to be not just a place where I'm just putting information there for you, but for you to comment on that as well. So let's say if you happen to have your Sun in Pisces in the 4th house, I talk about what are some general themes that could come with that energy, but I would love to know how you've been experiencing it, what more specifically. And then if we get enough chatter on that, then maybe we can create a part 2. And this way, this becomes this community library, this soul tribe, where we're all adding our experiences to this thing and just creating our tome of knowledge, so that when people are looking through this energy, they can see, like, okay, like, oh, when I'm feeling this, like, I can feel this way, or to have something to relate to. So that's my goal with that. And I'm gonna start doing like more chart readings on there. I'm actually, like I said, I was gonna start putting like some solar return charts. I think that's gonna be something that I do for each, when we get to new zodiac seasons, to talk about that type of stuff. And I got all types of ideas, Cancer. I'm really going to start unrolling some things, and you'll see. It'll all be visible as I go on throughout this year. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, Cancer, so I can get you out of here. So you have the 5 of Swords here, Cancer. And I feel with the 5 of Swords, we were talking about that with the Devil. I feel that maybe for some, I'm getting this. It's like the analogy or the example that I can think of is that you've been at this job, let's say, for a while. You've gotten real comfy, real cozy, and now someone comes in. Let's say like you're a boss change or something changes, and now it's like what was once a real kind of steady, stable thing. Now maybe there's a new coworker that's stirring up trouble, or maybe there's all these policy changes. It's like all this stuff that just seems, all these outside kind of influences here, and it's just like it's almost like forcing a move here. It's like what may seem like, oh my gosh, I may need to leave my job, I may need to do this, but then you go to do this other thing, and it creates this, not only is it a better job, but it gets you in a better position. It unlocks these connections with different people. It presents this other thing. There's this new potential for growth here. That's just like one example. It's like there's, and just seeing how this woman's kind of crying here. Oh, this is the story behind this one is escaping me at the moment. But this could be where there seems to be some kind of not great relationship going on here. This could be where like enough is enough. We're not sure how. We may have been in a relationship. Let me get your other oracle card here. You may have been in a relationship for a while, and it's like you're not sure what is going on, or not what's going on, but how you're going to get out of this thing, what you're going to do, but you just go. Just one day you just pack up your stuff and you just leave. And then, you find that you got friends that are willing to help you, and then next thing you know, an apartment opens or whatever, and then or maybe like even family comes through, like we had just built this guest room or blah, blah, whatever can happen, but it just feels like that there is, maybe we're going through a time, but things are coming together here. Like there's a bigger piece. Even though the Wheel of Fortune is not here, it's giving me that something is changing. But let me see what your oracle card here is. Thanks, guys. Interesting. Okay, I dig that. So you have the full moon in Aries card here, which we're going to be in Aries energy next. But this is the Cool Your Emotions card. I think we may have gotten this card before. But when it's saying cool your emotions, I feel there are times when when we're nervous, when we're getting ready to make a move. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm getting ready to do something, I remember when I quit my job a little while back, even though I knew it was something that I needed to get done, I still felt so much anxiety. Like it was just like a flood of anxiety. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm not ready to do this. Like maybe I can't do this. But then it's just like, well, are you going to continue going on the way you're going on? It's just like, right. So I feel that when you're put with an option here, when you feels like your back is against the wall. Again, it seems like the energies take me back to this Four of Swords. Find a space for you to weigh your options here. Okay, this is what has revealed itself, what is manifested. These are the tools that I'm working with. What can I do to turn this around? Because I feel like this magician is just thinking that they're missing something or that they can't do something, but you have more. If we take a minute and just kind of, okay, what's going on? I'm going to have to maybe make some, and when I say extreme, extreme's not the word, maybe drastic moves. Maybe I need to do something, maybe take a brave move here. Again, this could be like quitting a job, leaving a relationship, ending a friendship, maybe putting some space between a family. But it's just like there's something here, it's like, it's going to make sense in the grand scheme, why this needed to happen, maybe why you needed to go through something here, and it's trusting that guidance, that thing that's inside you is just like, I know, but hey, we got to make this move. We got to do this thing if we want to turn the needle. And it's like, we don't have to, but if you want to turn the needle, this is what's needed to be done. So just I hope that makes sense, Cancer. I think I'm gonna leave that there. So you stay safe out there, stay mindful out there, Cancer. Stay grounded. Seize the day, seize the night, Cancer. Keep eyes on the moon, keep eyes on the sky. Feel these energies there, Cancer. Tune into your emotions while we're in this candle, and always, but especially while we're in Cancer season right now. This is a great time to journey within yourself, get connected with your roots, get connected with Source, God, Universe, whatever that's looking like for you there, Cancer. It can be really, really beautiful time. And I will catch you on the next one, Venus Day.